This is Who Are We Voting For? Meet the candidates. I put these videos together so you could put a name to a face to the candidates that you're voting for. So we don't go into the voting booth wondering who we're voting for. This is for the voters and not for the candidates, so we are more educated as voters.
My name is Devon Taliaferro, and I am a talent acquisition coordinator with the City of Pittsburgh Department of Human Resources. I am a Pittsburgh born and raised native. I grew up in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania, just right outside the city of Pittsburgh, and grew up in a family with two loving parents and the oldest of three siblings. And I grew up just in, loving life and enjoying having fun, playing outside. I was always the oldest of all of my siblings and my cousins. So I was the one, kind of like the leader, the one who kind of coordinated the activities. And, I used to plan little talent shows when I was a kid for all the adults when we would have family gatherings. So I've always been a leader. And I think that's something that I really have grown into and really love about myself now as an adult. I have worked in a variety of different spaces, from working in a university setting to working in nonprofit. I served in nonprofit for over a decade, working with youth serving organizations, running mentoring programs in schools and in the community, as well as a nonprofit birth center where I did a lot of community engagement work. And so I've always really found community to be something that has become my passion and what I really seek to be able to connect people to resources and opportunities that be able to help them and to better serve them. And so it's something that I have always loved and enjoyed doing. I love, in my spare time, I love, really just spending time with my family and friends. You always be able to catch me at somebody's event, just having fun, laughing, joking around. And you might even catch me doing a karaoke song or two, because I love to sing. And that's something that I've always enjoyed doing. And it just kind of makes me who I am, just someone who just loves life, loves people, and enjoys just having a good time. Not always just seeing the worst or the bad things in life, but really just learning to see, the good things and the good in people. And that's what, makes me who I am. So when I think about my why, I always think back to 2018, when I was working in Pittsburgh Public Schools, running mentor programs with a group of students at Brashear High School and at Greenfield Elementary School. And I also ran programs at North Allegheny, in North Allegheny School District. And just the drive and the 10 or so minute drive in between the different schools showed me that the educational experience that you have is based on your zip code. And if you live, if you're fortunate enough to live in a suburban neighborhood, or if you're fortunate enough to go to, a private school, your educational experience sometimes is better than what you might receive if you lived in Homewood, or if you lived in the Hill District, or even if on the North Side. And so for me, I carry my why with me because it was the students that I worked with and the experiences that I seen them have that really motivated me to ask questions and challenge the leadership and the people who are making the decisions on behalf of our students, and making sure that our students have the educational experience that they deserve. And so when I ran for school board, it really was to be a voice for my community, to be a voice for the students, to represent them, to be a leader that centers them and make sure that they are the focus of every decision that we make. And when I think of why I want to run for school board again, it's to continue doing that work. It's continuing finishing what I started and giving our students the very best educational experience that they deserve and that they need and that families want. As a school board director, we're tasked to represent the vision and values of our community. And I believe that I have represented the vision and values of the community, and I want to continue to represent those vision and values and making sure that we are building a world-class educational experience for every student in Pittsburgh public schools. And that's what they deserve. And if we can't do that as leaders, then, we shouldn't be in the seats that we're in. When I think about the skills that it takes to run for school board, I think about the best parts of who I am. The first thing that always comes to mind is my leadership skills. I have, like I said, I've always been a leader and always been somebody who, wants to stand up and advocate for the things that are right, but not just for myself, but on behalf of other people, but also to bring people along. And I think that's what makes a really good leader, is how you connect with people and how you bring people into the fold and bring them along in the journey. I think I first really discovered that I was a leader when I did a AmeriCorps program with an organization called Public Allies Pittsburgh in Coral, Pittsburgh. And it really taught me what leadership really looked like and to value leadership in my life. And one of the things that I think has always stuck with me when I think about being a leader is being able to recognize the assets that already exist in community, in people. Everybody has something to offer, and being able to understand what the assets are and what already exists, and then how you can complement that, I think is really what a leader is about. But when it comes to leading on the school board, it really is standing out and being the voice for the people. And then I think the second thing for me when it comes to my skills really just is my relationship building skills and people building skills. I think that's something that's been so important to me. And, when you're working on a school board, you're not, just by yourself. You're, one of 9 board members. And so you have to learn to work together. You have to be able to communicate with your board colleagues. You have to be able to communicate with the superintendent and his administration. And so that's something that I've always really done really well, is building relationships with people. And I think it's really critical, especially in the role of school board, because, the school district is a part of, one part of the experience that students and families have. We are the city of Pittsburgh. We represent the same children that our city officials, our county officials, our state officials represent. And so I think being able to build relationships with the mayor, to build relationships with city council and county council members, to build relationships with our state legislators is so valuable, because it takes all of us to be able to do this work and to best serve the children in the city of Pittsburgh. And so I think that's something that I've been able to do and bring to the board over the past 4 years, is making sure that we're building the relationships with each other that lead to the student outcomes that we want to see our children have, and that they have the skills to be able to go on to do whatever they want to do.
Thank you for watching this video of Pittsburgh Events. To watch this video again or any other video from Pittsburgh Events, you can go to the YouTube channel. It's 18 Ricco. It's youtube.com/18RICCO. Again, thank you for watching, and you can check out this video and any other video from Pittsburgh events and many other videos that didn't make it on TV.
As the seated school board director for Pittsburgh Public Schools in District 2, I, for one, have been so honored and privileged to be able to serve my community in this capacity. Over the past 4 years, we've accomplished so much, and through a global pandemic. And so for me, I am a person who always wants to finish what they start. And so my hope is that I can finish the great work that we've already done, and finish what we started on the board. I mean, some of the priorities that I'm looking forward to be able to support in the next 4 years is really just making sure that we have schools that are safe, supportive, and welcoming for all of our students. This is something that's really important to me, and has been important to me as I've been advocating on the board, to making sure that we work directly with our superintendent and his administration to build the school culture and climate that our students need. Wanting to have safe schools. Every parent wants a safe environment for their child, and so wanting to make sure that we build that. In 2020, I supported a resolution to reimagine school safety, and we started this work building a community majority task force, along with administrative staff, along with other key community stakeholders, to bring everybody to the table and to have the conversation of what our schools need to look like to be safe and supportive environments for students and staff. And so this work was really critical, and we spent a lot of time talking about how do we define school safety? What are some of the things that we need to look like? What are the roles and the staff that we need to have in the buildings to be sure that our students and staff are safe and supported? And so this is work that I want to continue doing. Unfortunately, that work had to stall because of the pandemic and because of transition and changes in the district with our superintendent. And so one of the things and top priorities for me is making sure that we get that work back up and running so that we can present recommendations to the board on policy changes, on how we structure our schools, and making sure that our schools are safe and supportive and welcoming for every student and staff in the school district. Another thing that I think is really important to me that I've been advocating for is in the investment in community schools. Currently, the school district has 9 community schools designated, but there are 54 schools across the district. And so we have a lot of work to do to make sure that we have sustainable community schools that are able to support the needs of students and families. And so one of the things that I've really been pushing for is how we can better partner with our state elected officials, our city and county officials, to be able to identify the funding that we need, to be able to share resources across the city, to make sure that our students' needs are being met every day. The benefit to community schools for me is that we're able to bring the resources and the services right to the school buildings. And we know that schools are community assets and are a reflection of the community. And so wanting to make sure that every school has the resources to meet the needs of that student population, that no school should look the same in terms of needs, because no students, the students in one school and their needs are different from a student in another school. And so really investing in our community schools, I think, is something that's been really important to me. And then the third thing is just making sure that we are creating transparency and having a strong governance structure that allows us to be the leaders that we need to be for the school district. And that leadership really has to center our students' needs and their outcomes first. One of the things that I think that I feel really grateful and fortunate for since I've been on the board over the past 4 years is the opportunity for professional development and training for school board members. We're unpaid elected officials. And for someone like myself, who's one of the youngest people on the board, I also work a full-time job. And so every time that I get and every chance that I get to learn and to grow as a school board director, I take advantage of that because I want to be a better leader. I want to show up as a leader who is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that we're seeking the best outcomes for our students. And so, for me, governance is one of the things that I recognize wasn't necessarily a priority to the previous boards that, that served the school district. And so I've really been advocating and fighting for us to rebuild our governance structure, to be able to focus on student outcomes, and really just to be able to work closely with the superintendent and building priorities and visions and goals for the district. And those vision and goals and values of the community are reflected in the goals and priorities that we set with the superintendent. And so I'm really proud of the work that we've been able to do around governance, our governance structure, and building and setting priorities and goals for the district. And then making sure that it's transparent. Everybody wants to be able to have access and to see what's going on and to know what's going on in the district. And unfortunately, that hasn't always been the case for past boards. And so really just pushing to make sure that there's transparency and inclusion in every decision and things that we do. In 2021, there was a proposal to consider closing some schools in Pittsburgh Public Schools. And that was something that I knew didn't sit well for me. And so I made the motion to table that discussion until I knew that it included the voice of the community, because I think it's a decision that we can't make without all input and voices at the table. And so I know and understand the trauma that comes along with school closures in this city. Anybody that you ever talk to who graduated from Shenley High School will tell you the pain that they feel knowing that their school is no longer there, but the pride that they felt and the experiences that they had. And so I want to make sure that when we have to make decisions about closing schools, or we have to make tough decisions in the school district as board members, that we are seeking the voice of community. And that's something that has always been a priority to me and will continue to be a priority to me over the next 4 years in my role on this school board. Well, people should vote for me because I have worked and done this job with all of my heart, and with centering our students in mind. I honestly believe that our leaders have to center the people that they serve, whether it's the communities that they serve, the city that they serve, the state that they serve. In my case, for school board, it's the children that I serve. And I've been able to deliver solutions over the past 4 years. And that's something that I think a lot of people can't do and don't choose not to do, is finding solutions. We always think about the problems and the issues that are going on, and we downplay the good things that are happening. And there are so many great things that are happening in Pittsburgh Public Schools. And I want to be able to tell the story through my leadership. I want to be able to highlight the great work that we're doing and continue to invest in the work that we're doing. We want leaders that are going to deliver solutions. We want leaders that are going to be consistent. We want leaders that are going to act and be bold in their action. And I've been able to do those things since I've served on the board for Pittsburgh Public Schools. And I want to be able to continue the work that we've started. And I think that it's important to have representation. I'm one of the youngest people on the 9-member board. And I think that for a long time, we've seen a lot of a lot of wisdom show up to the board. A lot of people who have been in education for years, a lot of people who have been teachers, who have been principals, who have been administrative staff in the district. And I think it's really great to have wisdom on the board, but it's also great to have new perspective on the board. It's fresh perspective on the board. And I think that I've been able to bring that fresh perspective to the board. And I want to be able to continue that work over the next 4 years. And the thing that's most important to me is that I represent young people, but I represent Black children. I represent, white children. I represent Latino children all over the city. The city of Pittsburgh and the school district of Pittsburgh, there are over 90 languages spoken. And so having someone that our students can look to and to see themselves in, and even if I don't relate to everything that they've experienced in their lives, I at least know as a student who was a public school graduate in a school district where I didn't have books, in a school district where I really struggled in my academics, wanting to be able to create an educational system that is not what I experienced, is giving our students an opportunity and a chance to thrive. And I think that when we invest in our kids, when we make sure that we lead in such a way that allows our kids to thrive, then we're better off in the end. And so I continue to show up, I continue to listen, and I will always continue to act. And that is why I believe that I am the best choice and the boldest choice for school board director in District 2, because we want leaders that are going to put our students first, that are going to center kids in every decision that they make. So vote for me.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more videos on subjects like this and many other topics. Please leave any comments in the comment section. Any questions or comments, I'll get back to them as soon as I possibly can. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.